Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala rasulihil kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. As you can see that we are continuing the hadith number 2. I think this is where we stopped. We went through hadith number 2, a little part of it in the beginning, just before we start the holiday period. Inshallah today we'll going through the continuation because it's a big hadith, as you can see. Also in this hadith has 3 parts, and we already said that the first part where Jibril asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that what is Islam. We said we'll discuss that part in hadith number 3 in more details. Now what is Islam? The Islam is based on 5 pillars. We'll discuss this in hadith number 3. Then we started the bold part here when Jibril asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam what is Iman. So he started describing Iman. So he said it's the belief in Allah and His angels and His books, His messenger, and the last day, the judgment day, and what is in the qadar, good or bad, all comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are going through that part. And so far I remember, and actually I went and checked it out, that we already did the belief in Allah in a very short way, because we cannot go everything in detail, because one of this chapter is like one course of Aqidah. Like, if you want to talk about the Tawheed and Shirk and everything, it will take a long time. But we did the belief in Allah. We said the Tawheed, what is Tawheed, how the scholars of the Islam has divided Tawheed. And also about Tawheed, our Sheikh Yusuf also had few lectures in the Friday, if you remember, about the Aqidah class. So it's very similar to that thing. So today we're going to do an interesting thing, the belief in angels. The belief in angels, as you can see, as described by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it comes in the second thing of just after Allah. Rasulullah said, they know malaikata, yu'minu billahi wa malaikatahu. So the angels, Allah's angels. So this is very important for us to know about the angels. Few months back I had a Juma khutbah here about this one, about the angels. So I'm going to go through that. But all of us know more or less about the angels. We've been learning this from our childhood, about the Jibril, about the angel of the death and all these things. So I decided that today we're going to go through it in a short way, because if you're going to go very long way, it will take a long time. Like in the sense, like if you're going to describe each hadith, where the hadith comes from and everything, it will take a long time. But inshallah ta'ala, you can trust me, and if you need, I can provide you the source. All of them are authentic hadith that I will discuss here. And I will try to do an interactive class, not a class, like interactive talk, meaning I will ask you guys, because you know these things also, it's nothing new. So we'll go through that way. It's easier for us to discuss that way. So the first thing, we know that angels are part of the world of unseen. So bil ghaib. This is one of the things that Allah has created. We haven't seen angels. The Sahaba, they also haven't seen angels. They have seen angels in the human form. So for them, they haven't seen angels like in an angel's form. So nobody in this world has seen an angel unless it is in the form of human. Not only Sahaba, there are people from Bani Israel, previous generation. There are hadiths described from them. Some of them have seen angels, but in a human form again. Only Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw angels in the original form, and he saw Jibril and some other angels that we'll talk about, that he saw only in the form of the angel. So the first thing, what are they created? So tell me, what are they created of, angels? They created of light. They created of nur. And Rasulullah said in a hadith described by Aisha radhiyallahu anha, that angels are created from the nur, and the jinns are created for the smokeless fire. This kind of a fire, smokeless fire. So we shouldn't make confused that angels and jinn are from the same thing. The one is from nur and one is from smokeless fire. Smokeless fire is something that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, but it's something not light basically. And then Rasulullah said, and the human beings are created from teen, meaning from the mud, from the clay. So this is what we know from the Rasulullah, what are they created of. Now when were they created? What is the time frame? So we don't know exact time. Allah never said, or Rasulullah never said when they were created. But there is a famous verse in the ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah. I think Brother Rafi knows this, where Allah said that I have decided to make Khalifa in the world. And Allah said this too before creation of Adam alayhi salam. So this is the beginning of the story of Adam alayhi salam. We did this in our Quran class. when Allah is saying to the angels, look, I have decided that I'm going to make a Khalifa to the world. And then the angels said, why you want to create? Because we are doing your worship. Why you want to create another, another creation that will disobey you? Something like this they said. And that's why we know that before Allah created human being, Allah created the angels definitely. And also there's another hadith. Rasulullah said, Allah created the heaven and the hell, so the Jahannam and the Jannah, and then Allah sent Jibril to see them. Meaning what? Allah already created Jibril, and after Allah created those Jahannam and Jannah, Allah sent Jibril to have a look at it. To see, oh Jibril, go and have a look at it. And when he saw that, he came back and he said, oh Allah, your Jannah is so beautiful. Who is there that to disobey this? Everybody will try to come here. Then Allah sent him to the Jahannam, and he saw Jahannam is covered with the dunya, all the desire and everything. Then he said, Wallahi Allah, because of this desire, I think everybody will come to the Jahannam, because of the desire and everything. He thought that's way. But inshallah ta'ala, we may pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah take us from Jahannam and put us in the Jannah. Now their size, the size of the angels, so they had different size, as you all know. The great size, the biggest of them with the wings in perspective is Jibril alayhi salam. Why? Because Rasulullah said in an hadith, authentic hadith from Sahih al-Muslim, that Rasulullah saw Jibril in his original form, and when he had 600 wings. Imagine 600 wings. I don't know how the structure is, but can you imagine 600 wings is like huge. And he said in the same hadith, one of the wing was covering the horizon. So if you look, horizon means if you look somewhere where you see the sky and the land is meeting, the whole place is covering through his wings. Also, there are other description of the size of the angels. Another description of the angels, there are 8 angels who are in charge of carrying the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in one of the hadiths, Rasulullah says, the distance of those angels' earlobe from here to the shoulder is 700 years. From here to the shoulder. What is the 700 year distance? For a bird to travel. So if a bird flies from their ear to their shoulder, it will take 700 years to travel. And that is the size of one of those angels of the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is what we know about the size, and probably there are different sizes of different angels, so only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows about that. Now, they have wings, as I said, in surah number 35, which is called Surah Al-Fatih, the first ayah, Allah said that Allah have made angels, and Allah have made their wings 2 or 3, and then Allah said, whenever Allah wish, Allah can increase them. Meaning Allah is talking about Jibril alayhi salam. So most of the angels, the scholars said, they have 2 wings, or maybe 3 or 4, but Jibril is a special angel, so he had 600 wings. Their beauty. In Surah Al-Nazm, Allah said about Jibril alayhi salam, there is Zumirrati fastawa, wa huwa bil ufuqil ala, meaning that Allah is saying that when Rasulullah went to the Isra al-Miraj, Rasulullah saw the first time Jibril in another, the original form, and Zumirra means that handsome, tall. Abdullah ibn Masud, Abdullah ibn Abbas, he described this word in Quran means handsome and tall. So it looks very, fabulous, as you can say, the form of Jibril alayhi salam. Also in another surah, Surah Al-Yusuf, as you all know the story, when Yusuf alayhi salam was called by the wife of the minister of the Egypt, and she called other ladies, right? And then Yusuf alayhi salam was walking in front of all these ladies, and they have a knife and a fruit, like an apple or something in their hand, and they were astonished with the beauty of Yusuf alayhi salam. And what did they say in the Quran? They said, he is not from human, he is from the angels. So they also had an idea that angels are much more beautiful than the human being. And that is what we also know. When we saw a baby and everything, we say, oh, how cute, how angel is, like how angelic face, or something like this. So this is like our human idea, and that's what we can find from the Quran and the Sunnah, that they are much more beautiful. Their difference in size and status, as I mentioned, they have different size, and Jibril alayhi salam is the greatest size. What I mean by status, not everybody has the same job, everybody has a different status, and the main thing about that, we know from a hadith, an authentic hadith, about Battle of the Badr. What do you know? That in the Battle of the Badr, there was almost 1,000 angels came and participated. And one day, Jibril came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who are the best of your companions? Who are the best of your Sahaba? And then Rasulullah said, the one who took part in the Badr. And then Jibril said, yes, from the angels, the one who took part in the Badr, they are in the best. They are in the highest rank. So those 1,000 angels, including Jibril, they have a status because they took part in the battle of Badr with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, they did not eat or drink. How do you know that? This is the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam. If you remember that Ibrahim alayhi salam is at home and 3 angels came to him to destroy the nation of the Lut. And then Ibrahim alayhi salam thought, they came in a human form obviously. He offered them the food. He roasted a lamb or a sheep for them, but they didn't eat. And when they didn't eat, such a great feat. The traveler usually in that time, if you have a traveler walking from long way, you give food, obviously they will eat the food. They are hungry, by nature. But they didn't eat food or drink. And that time Ibrahim alayhi salam had some, confusion. He got scared. Why these people are not eating? Then the angels say, they said like we are angels, They said, don't scare, we are angels, we are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we came to destroy the nation of the Lut. And then Ibrahim alayhi salam said, what about Lut? He's going to be destroyed. Then they said, no, Lut will be fine. He is a prophet, but we're going to destroy his people who are doing disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So from that, these are the 2 surahs it mentions there, Surah Al-Hud and Surah Al-Zariyat, that it mentions the story, and from that we know that they don't drink or eat anything. Now, they don't get bored or tired remembering or worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, this is mentioned in Surah Al-Anbiya and Surah Al-Fussilat. Allah said that day and night they are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without any tiredness. This is how they are created. They are not like us, pray Fajr, go home, sleep, sleep till Jahar, and get tired, never come to Isha, all these things we do. But no, they don't do this. They are continuously worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they're praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed them to do so. Their number, there are millions and billions of angels. How do you know that? Rasulullah said there is a place, and this is also mentioned in Surah Al-Nazm, that Baitul Ma'mun. Baitul Ma'mun is like a Kaaba. It's a Kaaba just on top of some of the scholars say it is on top of the Kaaba in the 4th sky. So where we have the Kaaba, Baitul Ma'mun is the same place on the top of the 4th sky, and every day 70,000 angels comes and do tawaf there or worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and these 70,000 angels never come back till the day of judgment. In Hajj, we have people, millions of people, 3-4 million people, but on those people, a lot of people, maybe at least 1 or 2%, maybe they come for the second time, or maybe they're local or something, and they come back and everything. But this, imagine, every day, and this is from the creation of the world. Whenever Allah created Baitul Ma'mur, since that day it will be at the end of the day that every day 70,000 angels are coming and they are doing tawaf and they are never coming back. So next day a new batch is coming back. So this is what we know, that there's a lot of them in number. Also in another hadith, an authentic hadith in Bukhari or Muslim actually, Rasulullah said that the sky is full of angels, the As-Sama al-Dunya, the closest sky, and the sky is making a cracking noise, as if like it's cracking. Why? Sahaba asked, why Rasulullah? He said, because you won't find a place of 4 finger. A place of 4 finger where there is not an angel. So every angel is standing like this, and some of them are standing in a ruku position, some of them are doing the sujood, and they are continuously worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The sky is full of angels. From that hadith we know, so there's plenty of numbers of angels. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows how many in numbers. Their names. Brother Amin. Good sleep? Okay. Names. Give us some names of the angels. The first one. Jibreel alayhi salam. Very good. And Mikael. These two I write it side by side because these two are mentioned in the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah said, whoever is the enemy of Jibreel and Mikael, Allah and His Rasul is the enemy of them. We did this ayah also, and we had a question also in the test. So Jibreel and Mikael is mentioned in the Quran. Also Israfil. Israfil is also mentioned, not in the Quran, but in the Hadith. How do you know that? The Rasulullah started a dua before he started the night prayer, the Qiyamul Layl. Aisha radhiyallahu said that sometimes he started the dua or the salah with Allahumma Rabba Jibreel or Mikael or Israfil. So, oh Allah, the Lord of Jibreel, Mikael or Israfil. So these are the things He mentioned, and they have their own duty. The Mikael is responsible for the rain and everything, and Israfil, as you know, Israfil is responsible for blowing the trumpet. Exactly. So Israfil is standing there with the trumpet in his mouth, eyes here, waiting for this instruction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the trumpet will be blown. The next one is Malik. It is mentioned in the Quran by name in this surah. I think it's surah number 43, Surah Al-Ahqaf. I'm not sure the name of the surah. In that surah, Allah said that the disbeliever, the people in the Jahannam, they will call Malik, oh Malik. So they're calling the angel. So he is the angel in charge of the hellfire. And they will call Malik, oh Malik, tell your Lord, tell Allah that he should less our punishment, too much punishment and everything like this. So Allah mentioned the ayah is something similar like this. So we know from there the Malik is the angel of the hellfire. We also know from the hadith that when Rasulullah went to the Isra al Miraj, all of the angels give him salam and smile to him, to Rasulullah, welcome him. Only Malik, he gave salam and everything, but he didn't smile. Because he was made like this way, because he is in charge of the hellfire, he never smiles. He has a face, that is very scary maybe. Scary not in the sense like ugly or something, astaghfirullah, but maybe it is something that because it is for hellfire, so people will get scared of him. So this is like the Malik. The next one is Munkar and Nakir. As you all know, Munkar and Nakir, where do they come? In the house? In the cupboard, yes. And we know it from the hadith of Rasulullah. It is not mentioned in the Quran that these two angels will come and they will ask 3 questions in the grave. And then whoever is a believer, he will be able to answer. Whoever not, he won't be able to answer those 3 questions. Then Harut and Marut. Harut and Marut is mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah. And what did they do? Anybody knows?
In the Babel city, they
yes. So in the city of the Babylon, actually we haven't done this ayah. This is the first ayah we'll do inshallah ta'ala on Monday. Because we finished up to ayah number 101 in Surah Al-Baqarah before the holidays. So inshallah we'll start with this ayah. So Harut and Marut, they came as a test for the people of the Iraq. Babylon is the city is called Iraq. So they came to the Iraq and they were teaching the people magic. But before they teach the magic, they said this is a test from Allah. If you do this, basically you're doing kufr. Are we still willing to learn? And some of the people they disbelieve and they learn about the magic. Now in this one we'll do some other qualities of the angels. So these are the angels by name. We know this from the hadith and from the Quran. So their powers, as you know, angels have different kind of powers. One of the common power, as I mentioned, that they can turn into human being. They can turn into human being form. They have power to fight as people fight because they have taken part in the battle of the Badr and some other times. Also, you remember the story of the Taif, where Rasulullah was, tortured by the people of the Taif, and he took shelter behind the mountain. Jibril came with 2 other angels of the mountains, and those angels said, Ya Rasulullah, tell us, if you want, we can crash the whole city, bring the 2 mountains together, finish all of these people. But Rasulullah said, no, I don't want this to happen. So we know they have the power. Also, their speed is the lightning speed. How do you know that? Because any people, any Sahaba come to Rasulullah, ask a question, Jibril come from the 7th heaven right away to Rasulullah without any delay. So scholars said, obviously their speed is much more better than the speed of this world, anything, even more speed than the light. Now their duties, the Wahi, who is in charge of the Wahi? Jibril is in charge of the Wahi. As I said, Mikael is for the rain. There are angels for the mountains. There are angels Israfil for the blowing the trumpet. And then there's angels for the taking the souls. And we know the name Ajrail, but there is no name Ajrail mentioned in the hadith. But some early writings of the Islam, like some early books of history, especially in the subcontinent, they mention this name Ajrail. But actually there is no mention of this name in the Quran or in the Sunnah. In the Quran, Allah said Malakul Maut, so the angel of the dead. The protection. So as we know, the angels give you protection. That's what they did in the battle of the Badr. Also, we have angels, as Allah mentioned in the surah, that Allah created angels, and some angels are in front of us and behind us. They are protecting us all the time, as a guardian to the believers. Also, they did recording of our deeds, as you know, Kiram and Katibin. But Kiram and Katibin is not their name; it's their title. Kiraman Katibins means respected writers, or you can say respected recorders or something. So they are on our shoulder, as you all know, and they are writing everything that we do, that we say, and that we action. In the grave, Munkar and Nakir, as you all mentioned before, in the hell and in the paradise. In the hell there are angels like Malik. In paradise also there will be a lot of angels. Allah mentioned in the surah that when the people of the Jannah, they will enter into the Jannah, the angels will say As-salam, yes. The angel will say peace, because that's the peace and everything.
In the hell there is not only one.
No, there is not only one. There's more. There's 19. Yeah. 19, yes. There is 19. So, but we don't know their names. But yes, there is 19. But the head is the Malik is the head. That's why Allah mentioned him in the name. In the womb of the mother, Rasulullah mentioned in a hadith that when a mother is pregnant, in the womb, after the 120 days, an angel comes to the womb and write the qadr of that baby, what this baby will be. Will it be a girl or a boy? Will this baby will be a good people or a bad people, like a believer or a disbeliever? When he will die, I think 4 things he write down. I don't have the details of the hadith, but it's an authentic hadith, and he wrote all these things with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the angels in the womb, and then there are angels that carry the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We've already mentioned. There are angels who do dua for us. We are gathered here, inshallah ta'ala, where Allah said, and there are angels, they're looking for this type of gathering, where there is a halakah, people are gathering, talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the sunnah, or whatever, talking anything good about Islam and everything. Angels gather there, and definitely the angels are here at the moment, and they're making dua for all of us, people who are not sleeping, except for those maybe, but are making the whole dua for all of us until the halakah is there. And he's saying that the angels are saying, oh Allah, forgive these people because they are doing the zikr of you, they are doing the zikr of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also they give salam, and how do you know that? In Laylatul Qadr, Jibril comes down and all other angels come down and they keep peace, they keep salam till the Fajr, from the famous surah of Laylatul Qadr. And then last but not the least, the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I mentioned, that there are thousands and millions of angels. They are doing the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and their job is only to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So inshallah ta'ala, this is a very short talk about the angels, and we will finish it here. So jazakallahu khair, subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.